Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Shiftaholics Subaru Forester project video. And in this episode, we're going to continue the progress we have made on our wild Forester here by tackling some new mods and changes. And I want to start things off by doing something very simple. I'm not even sure you can call this a mod, but what I want to do is I want to install these. These are crossbars for the roof rack. Just to follow up on what we discussed in the previous episode, I want to continue decluttering the garage by installing some of the loose parts on the vehicle. That way they're not in the way, I don't have to step over them or accidentally step on them and break them. So if it's not in the way of us working on the rear quarter panels and the rear end, we're going to install it. That way when we do work on the rear end, we'll have more room and there'll be no obstacles we have to jump over. And now that we got that out of the way, we can move on to something far more interesting. And what I want to do now is swap out the Megan coilovers we installed when we started this project with these, what are these? These are Goodspeed Mono SS's, which are entry-level coilovers. They look kind of cool. Here, this is what they look like. The fit and finish looks very nice. I actually looked at them earlier when I got them. I know what a lot of you might say. What's the point putting a budget coilover on this type of build? And you know, I've owned a lot of coilovers. I installed a lot of coilovers. And I'll be honest with you, I can't really tell the difference between the expensive ones and the cheap ones. I mean, not the real cheap ones, you know, but as long as it's a quality brand and you're not really tracking the car, I think the differences are very subtle. And since we're not planning to track this thing, I think why not? Why not go with the coilover option? And we don't have to go too expensive. The money we save on the coilovers, we can invest in other parts. So that's the direction we're going to go with. Now that we're done with the front coilover installation, we can move towards the back and do the rear coilovers. And what I also want to do, I want to upgrade the sway bar and the sway bar links. I want to go with something a bit beefier to improve cornering. So I chose a white line, I believe it's 25 or 26 millimeters, pretty beefy compared to the stock unit sway bar and sway bar links. So that's what we're going to get to next. It's another beautiful day, and it's finally time for us to begin working on our passenger side door. As you can see, we actually made some room. We wheeled the car outside. That way we have enough space to work on our passenger side door. Even though this is a brand new door, if you recall, I did mention we got the door with a couple of minor dings. This tends to happen when these doors are shipped. So it's nothing major. It's not like the door on the vehicle, which is completely warped. So this is less headaches for us. So we're going to start by fixing the dents, doing the dent repair, and then we're going to move on to something far more interesting. And here's our plan of attack. We're going to start with a very basic cleaning, and what I'm going to do after that, I'm going to roll in the parts holder, we're going to mount the door on the parts holder, and I'm going to try to do most of the work on the parts holder. I know it's a bit easier pulling and doing the body work while the door is on the car. However, I really don't like the mess it creates. You know, that smell gets into the interior. So I would prefer to do as much as I can on the stands and the part holder before installing the door. And it's another beautiful day, and as you can see, the passenger side door is completely painted. What that means is we can begin disassembling the door that's on the car, the damaged door, in order to move all the parts over to this door right here. But before we begin tearing down the door that's on the car, what we need to do, we have to put some new blackout tape on the window frame. 2-minute coffee break. It's time to get back to work.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, bitch, hand me the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mad light, ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel, I took the red pill, I know life's short so I wanna live real, but how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel?
So finally, we are done painting, assembling, and replacing our rear passenger side door. And now we have to make a decision. And what we need to decide is, do we really want to paint these rocker covers? Technically, you can't even call these things rocker covers because they go on the door, but for all intents and purposes, let's just call them rocker covers. And you know, I'm leaning towards a no. I know I said I want to paint them in the previous episodes, but I'm really going for that wagon look, and I think if we paint these, it might make the car look a little taller or fatter. So I think this is more, you know, keeping them black is more in line with our original vision. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to clean these up and put them on the car.
They wanna sing my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't playing no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah bitch I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on the shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these things I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead.
It's another beautiful day, and we're back working on our Forester here. As you can see, we're done with the door. Only thing I didn't do is this panel, this rocker cover. I didn't install it yet. The reason for that is I want to hold off till we're done working on a quarter panel. So as you recall, the car was involved in the previous collision. The impact was at the rear driver's side door. We didn't finish the bodywork fully here, so we're going to just kind of wrap things up and get it ready for paint.
Of something you can forget, I'm living up every breath. I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seats as I spread with every word that I've said. How's it supposed to feel?
Finally, after what seemed like an eternity of prepping and sanding and masking, we're finally ready to apply our primer and our sealer.
How's it supposed to feel?
Now that the quarter panel and the doors are fully painted, we can start brainstorming our wide body design. Now I'm pretty sure by now you figured that we're not going to do sheet metal work just like we did with the front end. We are going to go in the direction of fiberglass. It's going to be lighter, and I kind of don't like butchering the quarter panel. So if in the future, if it does get damaged, we can simply replace it without doing you know, without affecting the quarter panel. So this is the reason why, you know, I finished the bodywork, finished the dent repair here and everything before starting on the over fenders that we're gonna make for the quarter panels and for the doors. But I'm afraid this is all I have for this episode. We will pick things up in the next episode. We're gonna tackle the rear bumper, and we're gonna brainstorm ideas on our wide body rear over fenders, and it should be exciting. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe, like the video, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye. Before I go, there is something I want to mention real quick. I am kind of regretting what I said earlier. All coilovers are not made the same. In fact, that's furthest from the truth. And after taking the car for a spin, after we did the suspension work, I don't think we're going to be sticking with the current setup. So we're going to be replacing the coilovers in the near future. Thank you for watching.